Today on Rappler, the latest on the Ombudsman's probe alleging Chief Justice Corona has $10 million in foreign currency accounts. Corona says $10 million is as phony as the 45 properties listed by the LRA, the U.S. properties, and the surveys.
Terrorists have created multiple platforms. Twitter is one. They have a number of blog sites.
One of the world's leading experts on Al-Qaeda says the next battleground is the internet. And a year after the wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton, royal watchers are talking about a royal baby. Hello and welcome. I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network, where stories inspire community engagement and digitally fueled actions for social change. Rappler comes from the root words rap, to discuss, plus ripple, to make waves. We at Rappler promise uncompromised journalism that hopefully inspires smart conversations and ignites a thirst for change. Well, the Ombudsman is asking Chief Justice Renato Corona to explain an alleged $10 million in deposits. Defense lawyers dismiss it as retaliatory payback, they say, for the Hacienda Luisita decision. The Philippine Daily Inquirer reported Sunday, Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales ordered the Chief Justice to explain his assets that were, quote, grossly disproportionate to his income. Corona calls the Ombudsman's information phony. He says, quote, I do not own $10 million. It's no different from the phony Land Registration Authority list, phony U.S. property list, phony surveys, phony letters to the editor. Corona also insists the Ombudsman has no jurisdiction over him as a sitting Chief Justice. Ombudsman Carpio Morales concedes this in her letter, noting that the Chief Justice can only be removed through impeachment. But the Ombudsman says it has the power to investigate the Chief Justice for misconduct for the purpose of an impeachment complaint. Well, how did the Ombudsman get around the bank secrecy law? That law expressly states no foreign currency deposit may be examined without the written permission of the depositor. It's simple. Corona himself gave the permission. The Statement of Assets, Liabilities, and Net Worth, or SALN, is not only a document that requires public officials to declare their assets, it also includes a waiver allowing the Ombudsman to verify the public official's statements. At the back of the form, a paragraph on top of a filer's signature reads, SALN documents also act as waivers allowing the Ombudsman to verify assets declared by public officials. The Ombudsman gets access to peso and dollar accounts of public officials, not directly from the banks, but through the Anti-Money Laundering Council, or AMLAC. Ombudsman Carpio Morales is a former Supreme Court Associate Justice. She retired last year and was immediately appointed as Ombudsman. President Benigno Aquino III has been vocal about his trust and confidence in Carpio Morales. When Chief Justice Renato Corona received the letter asking him to explain at least $10 million in deposits, he did not respond. The Ombudsman's request asked for a reply within 72 hours. Corona also did not tell the lawyers defending him in his impeachment trial. Corona counsel Ramon Esguerra says the Chief Justice dealt with it on his own. Esguerra adds, Corona's detractors are laying the groundwork for an impeachment trial in the future, this time based on alleged ill-gotten wealth, a charge barred in the current trial. Defense counsel Judd Roy brushed the letter off as well, calling the Ombudsman's action retaliatory after the Supreme Court decision giving Hacienda Luisita to farmers. Roy adds the move was meant to rally anti-Corona groups before the impeachment trial resumes. Well, as the world celebrates Labor Day tomorrow, here's a study that says 2 to 3 workers died weekly in work-related accidents in 2011 for a total of 126 deaths. Research by the Institute of Occupational Health and Safety Development shows miners buried alive, construction workers falling to their deaths, or pinned by collapsed structures were the most glaring work-related deaths in the Philippines last year. The survey found construction is the deadliest sector in 2011, with 56 people killed, accounting for 44% of deaths. 14 miners died last year, some buried alive in the deadly landslides that struck Compostela Valley in Mindanao after heavy rains. The institute also found that employers grossly violated health and safety standards, putting workers' lives in extreme danger. Well, a year after the death of Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, Rappler talks to terrorism expert Rohan Gunaratna about the prospects for regeneration of terrorist networks, terror groups in Asia, and the new battleground, the internet. Here's part of that interview. Given that Al-Qaeda has been degraded significantly in the last 11 years, does it have the strength to come back and build a safe haven in Afghanistan or Iraq?
Al-Qaeda has suffered a lot, but still Al-Qaeda is a very capable organization. There are very capable people who are in the organization. For example, Dr. Ayman al-Zawahiri is a medical practitioner.
Yes.
He was head of the Egyptian Islamic Jihad, and he commanded the respect of so many other groups because he built, in fact, the global network of bin Laden. Bin Laden was a very charismatic leader,
Yes.
but Zawahiri was the real brains.
Is the ideology still spreading?
That is the power of ideas, and these ideas become an ideology, and that they know how to use the social media, they know how to use the internet platforms, and they know how to reach out to the youth. And
How are they using social media now? I mean, how are they using it to spread terrorism?
terrorists have created multiple platforms. Twitter is one. They have a number of blog sites.
Abu Bakr Bashir, the former head of Jamaat Islamiyah, has a Twitter account. I mean, so
Yes.
you're saying they've created platforms. What do you make? How would you describe the threat now in Southeast Asia and the Philippines in particular?
The terrorist threat has not plateaued. The threat continues to grow. But the very ideas of terrorism, ideas of extremism are spreading. Not only that, there's another very dangerous trend. That is, the terrorist groups are operating not only underground, below surface, they are also operating above ground. They are working with political parties. Some of them have entered parliament.
Correct.
Some of them are having open media offices, for example, JAT.
Yes. JAT is Jamaat Ansharut Tawhid, which is an evolution of Jamaat Islamiyah.
Jamaat Islam, yes.
Yeah.
It's security and stability.
Rohan Gunaratna is the head of International Center for Political Violence and Terrorism Research, a group I worked with as author-in-residence last week. Let's take a look at the mood meter on that page. 43% afraid, 29% angry, 14% sad and happy. Well, let's move on. In the NBA, the Los Angeles Clippers rally from a 27-point deficit to steal Game 1 of their 2012 playoffs match against the Memphis Grizzlies. The Clippers were down with 9 minutes left in the game when they started their comeback. This victory is the largest comeback in the NBA playoffs in the last 10 years. All-star point guard Chris Paul sealed the deal for the Clippers by knocking down 2 free throws with 23 seconds remaining to give his team the win. The coach of National Capital Region Gymnastics team dreams of one day seeing his kids win an international competition. But before that, they need to bag the championship in this year's Palarong Pambansa. Isabel Rodriguez reports.
6 days a week, Coach Ricardo Otero trains young gymnasts in the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. The hard work and dedication pay off for these gymnasts. In this year's Palarong Pambansa, they are aiming to win the championships for the National Capital Region again.
Yung mga goal namin, makarating sila sa nationals, makapag-compete sa international level, at yung gymnastics sa Pilipinas kahit paano makatapat naman yung unang target is SEA Games, Asian Games, then susunod-sunod na.
12-year-old Carlos Yulo trains in this group. He was Palaro's all-around gymnastics champion in 2011. Yulo began his training at the age of 7. He dreams of winning a gold at the Southeast Asian Games. It has not been easy, but he is well on his way.
2009 po yung Palarong Tacloban. Ako po ay natalo. Dahil po, di ako nag-training maigi. Bumalik po ako dito at nag-training na nag-training. Nung 2011, may 20. Sa Pampanga, nanalo po ako. Champion. Sa susunod na palaro, sana po maging champion ako.
Another big NCR bet is Jag Timbang. The 14-year-old has won in many tournaments and was the second all-around champion in last year's palaro. Like every 14-year-old, Jag has his distractions, but commitment and love for the sport prevails.
Minsan po napapagod pagka tinatamad na. Yung pagka-computer ko, para lang po sa pagtitraining, din ako nag-computer. So kung manalo sa palarong pambansa ngayong taon, para po paglaki ko, makano po, maging champion po ako sa SEA Games.
Coach Otero, a former SEA Games champion himself, has faith in his wards. Even from the start, he has recognized the potential in the two gymnasts. At the end of the day, Carlos and Jag are still kids, and this makes their achievements a greater feat. Isa Rodriguez, Rappler, Manila.
A year after the royal wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton, eager followers now wait for a royal baby. The couple got married in May 2011 in front of cheering crowds and 2 billion television viewers. They're about to move from their home on Welsh Island to Kensington Palace in London, a signal to many that they will start a family soon. Succession rules were changed last year, giving a future daughter as much chance as a son of being in line for the throne. A royal biographer said last year Kate will be defying 200 years of tradition if she is not pregnant in the next 9 months after the wedding. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge say they will not be bound by any timetable in conceiving their firstborn. Well, if we take a look at the mood meter on that story, we have 50% amused, 25% annoyed, and happy. That's Rappler's Wrap for today, Monday, April 30th, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.